أنا الذي سمتني أمي حيدرة، برغام آجام وليث قسورة، عرض الذراعين شديد القصرة، كليث غابات.
His father was a well-known cleric, but he was pious and secluded. Their lives were difficult. There were nights when they had no food to eat, and his mother would struggle to prepare a meal for them, which was often just bread and raisins. His childhood was spent in a poor neighborhood in Mashhad, in a house that had only one room and a dark basement. The child we are talking about has today become one of the most exceptional leaders in the world, holding a unique combination of political, military, and religious power and leadership at the same time. 36 years ago, he was chosen as the leader of the Iranian Revolution and the successor to Ayatollah Sayyed Ruhollah Khamenei. First of all, we have to say that Khomeini is different with Khamenei. Khomeini is the first leader of the revolution and Khamenei is the second. Ayatollah, which means sign of God, is a title given to the highest-ranking Shia clerics. The title Sayyid is used among Muslims for those who are descendants of the Prophet of Islam. Therefore, Ayatollahs and Sayyids hold a high position of respect among all Muslims of the world. In this video, we will look at the biography of the leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and stay with us until the end. Sayyid Ali Khamenei was born on April 19, 1939 in Mashhad. He was the second son of Haji Sayyed Javad Khamenei. His father was indifferent to material matters and lived an ascetic life. Sayyid Ali Khamenei's grandfather, Sayyid Hossein Khamenei, was among the scholars who supported the constitutional revolution or Mashruta. Ayatollah Khamenei's mother, Lady Mirdamadi, was a pious lady who was fond of reading, literate, understanding, and had a talent to poetry. Sayyid Ali Khamenei began his education at the age of 4 by learning the Holy Quran. Simultaneously with school, he also studied Hausa or seminary lessons. The word Hausa, which is mostly used among the world's Shias, refers to a place where Shia clerics learn religious studies. In 1957, while he was still only 18 years old, he went on a short trip with his family to Najaf. This is a religiously important city for Shias located in Iraq. In Najaf, the young Khamenei studied under masters such as Sayyid Abul Qasim al-Khuyi. From 1957 to 1964, Mr. Khamenei was in Qom, which is also one of the most important religious cities for Shias in Iran and the main center of training clerics. Khamenei benefited from the presence of great teachers such as Burjardi, Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini, and Allama Tabatabai. During this period, most of his time was spent on research, study, and teaching. In 1964, despite his great desire to continue his education, he was forced to return to Mashhad to take care of his father. He found himself at a difficult crossroads, serving and caring for his father, which brought a spiritual reward, or continuing his education, which would help him reach his high goals. He chose to serve his father. Sayyid Ali Khamenei is also well acquainted with poetry and literature. He was always been interested in reading novels and stories, and has read many of the world's prestigious novels and tales. During his stay in Mashhad, he attended literary societies alongside the great poets of that era and wrote poems himself. He began research, writing, and translation during his youth while studying in the seminary, and has left behind various works. The first meeting between Ayatollah Khamenei and Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini took place in 1957 when Khamenei was still 18 years old. In 1961, when the charismatic and influential cleric Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini began the struggle against the Pahlavi regime, the young Khamenei was among the first people to join Mr. Khomeini's movement. When the young Khamenei's political activities intensified, he was arrested for the first time in in 1963 by the Pahlavi regime and imprisoned in the city of Mashhad, though he was soon released. The second time was a few months later, when he went to Zahedan for preaching and was welcomed by the people there. He was imprisoned by the Pahlavi regime in Kizilkala prison, which was a detention center for political prisoners. He was released soon after, but from then until the victory of the Islamic Revolution of Iran, he was always under the surveillance of security agents. In the autumn of 1964, together with a number of his friends, including figures such as Ali Akbar Rafsanjani, he formed a group of 11 people with the goal of fighting the Pahlavi regime. In 1967, this group was discovered by SAVAK, the Pahlavi government's secret police and intelligence agency. Several members of this group were arrested, and individuals like Khamenei were pursued. Ayatollah Khamenei was sentenced to 6 months in prison on charge of membership in the group of 11, but he refused to appear in court. In total, he was imprisoned several times by the Pahlavi government. His hardest period of imprisonment occurred in 1974, exactly 4 years before the victory of the revolution. According to his own words, he experienced the most difficult and painful condition of detention that year. He was not allowed to meet anyone, and his family had no information about his condition or where he has been held. Khamenei's activities were highly sensitive for SAVAK because he had been able to attract many people through his speeches. Therefore, by the order of the government of that time, he was banned from leaving the country until the victory of the Islamic Revolution. After the death of Ayatollah Borujerdi, the issue of the religious leadership or marji'iyat of the world's Shias was raised. The young Khamenei made a great effort to solidify Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeiни's position as the most learned source of emulation. Despite being on SAVAK's list of banned preachers, those prohibited from using the pulpit, he continued to deliver speeches in various places. Khamenei's popular and revolutionary activities were so extensive and effective that SAVAK finally shut down his teaching sessions, even those held at his home. After he was released from prison in 1975, he remained under the surveillance of security agents. In 1977, the revolution entered its final stage. The Pahlavi regime was forced to sentence a number of well-known activists to exile. Among those to be exiled was Ayatollah Khamenei, who was sentenced to 3 years of exile in Iran Shahr. In this year, SAVAK agents raided Khamenei's house, arrested him, and transferred him to Iran Shahr. The goal of the Pahlavi regime was to cut off his connection with the people. However, during his exile in Iran Shahr, Khamenei was still able to establish contact with various groups of people and gain popularity. His increasing popularity in Iran Shahr caused SAVAK to change his place of exile to Jiroft. But in 1978, one of his speeches in Jiroft led to public demonstrations against the Pahlavi regime. The regime, unable to control the revolutionaries, eventually left Khamenei alone. In that same year, Mr. Khamenei returned to Mashhad. His most important action took place before the victory of revolution. During the days of Ashura, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei delivered a passionate speech in Mashhad and read a sermon or khutbah in the name of Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini at the shrine of Imam Reza. Among the Muslims, it had traditionally been common to read sermons in the name of the king of the time. This revolutionary act broke tradition, as until then, in various ceremonies, clerics would formally pray for the Shah Muhammad Reza Pahlavi. In late 1978, the process of the Pahlavi government's collapse accelerated. Imam Khomeini issued the order to form the Council of the Islamic Revolution, and Ayatollah Khamenei was appointed as a member of this council by the Imam. Finally, the revolution reached victory. The leader of this revolution, Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini, returned to his homeland on February 1st, 1979 and received an unprecedented welcome. In general, we can summarize Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei's activities before the victory of revolution in these few points: education, teaching, writing and translation, cooperation with Imam Khomeini's movement, objecting to the exile of Imam Khomeini to Turkey, and continuing secret activities and being arrested tried, imprisoned, and tortured by Savak at least 6 times. As we mentioned before, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei was appointed as a member of the Council of the Islamic Revolution by the leader of the revolution. After the victory of the Islamic Revolution, some members of this council entered several important ministries. Among them, Ayatollah Khamenei entered the Ministry of Defense. Another of Ayatollah Khamenei's responsibilities was the supervision of the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, or IRGC, a position he reached a few months after the victory of the revolution. However, only a few months later, he resigned from the leadership of the IRG to run in the elections for the Islamic Consultative Assembly, or Parliament. In 1980, he successfully entered the parliament through the elections. As soon as the Islamic Revolution led by Ayatollah Khomeini reached victory, Ayatollah Khamenei, along with a number of his friends including Ayatollah Beheshti and Ayatollah Ali Akbar Rafsanjani, founded the Islamic Republic Party. He was elected as the third Secretary General of the party after Ayatollah Beheshti and Dr. Bahonar. Mr. Khamenei held the position of Secretary General of this party even during his presidency. Finally, in 1987, this party was closed with the agreement of Imam Khomeini for various reasons, including the fact that the party's key figures were occupied with major government posts. The most important part of this video is here. At the beginning of the revolution's victory, the young Khamenei was not comparable to the first-tier leaders of the revolution in terms of status. In the presence of figures like Ayatollah Beheshti, Ayatollah Motahari, Ayatollah Montazeri, and others, no one even imagined that someone like Khamenei would become the leader. Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei is a perfect example of gradual progress. After the victory of the revolution, he was appointed as the Friday prayer leader of Tehran at the suggestion of Imam Khomeini. On September 22, 1980, the Iraq army led by Saddam Hussein attacked Iran by air and land. Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei played an active role in military affairs from the very first hours of the Iran and Iraq war. He personally appeared on the front lines in military uniform and served as Imam Khomeini's advisor on military matters. The first president of Iran after the revolution was Abul Hassan Bani Sadr. However, because he had secular leanings and opposed religious forces, he was dismissed from the presidency by the leader of the Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Khomeini. After Bani Sadr's dismissal in the second round of presidential elections, Muhammad Ali Rajai was the elected president for only 28 days. However, he was assassinated in a bombing at the Prime Minister's office. After the death of Muhammad Ali Rajai, the second president after the revolution, elections were held once again. This time, Ayatollah Khamenei, who had nominated himself, was elected president by winning the vast majority of votes, 95.11%. Due to problems and disagreements with the Prime Minister and some cabinet members during his first 4 years as president, Mr. Khamenei was not inclined to run for a second term. However, following the advice of Imam Khomeini, he decided to run again. In the second round, Ayatollah Khamenei was again elected as the people's president with 85% of votes. The two presidential terms of Sayyid Ali Khamenei coincided with the Iraq and Iran war and were among the most difficult periods of his life. He successfully served 2 terms as the elected president of Iranian people. In June 1989, while the people and officials were preparing for the funeral and burial of Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini, the Assembly of Experts held a meeting to choose the next leader of the Islamic Republic system. Several people proposed the position of leadership to Khamenei, noting that in the view of Imam Khomeini, Ayatollah Khamenei had the competence to lead the country. Ali Akbar Rafsanjani played the most significant role in Sayyid Ali Khamenei becoming the leader. Sayyid Ahmad Khomeini, the person closest to Imam Khomeini, quoted that Imam as saying about Ayatollah Khamenei, he has the merit for leadership. In this way, in that assembly, Sayyid Ali Khamenei, who was 50 years old, attained the leadership by a majority of votes. After becoming leader, the first decade of his leadership was dedicated to strengthen the foundation of his power. During these years, he strengthened the IRGC, or Revolutionary Guard, dealt harshly with critical newspapers, witnessed several mysterious assassinations of opponents, which someone say occurred under his orders, and from the day he came to power until today, he has sternly and severely suppressed several public uprisings. During these years, Iran became very strong in the Middle East. It helped the Syrian government win its civil war, it strengthened Hezbollah in Lebanon, and it provided military aid to the Yemeni revolutionaries, or Houthis. Today, 36 years have passed since the beginning of Ayatollah Sayyed Ali Khamenei's leadership, and he continues to lead Iran powerfully.